Morning, everybody. My name is Pat, and woke up to a really nice day today, and I thought be a good opportunity to go ahead and do an outdoor project, and I hope you could join me for it. So let's go ahead and take a look at it and see what we got.
Okay, guys, so here's the project that I'm talking about. It's going to have three different elements to it. First is going to be we're going to grade this down and put in stone throughout this whole bed area. The second element that we're going to have is a paver walkway that's going to go on up to the water spigot area. And then we have a difference in elevation here. So what I want to do is put a retaining wall that is going to come around and allow us to fill in and level off that flower bed. So those are the three parts that we're going to be doing in this project. The first one is going to be putting in the retaining wall to be able to allow us to fill in that flower bed and put the rest of the plants in there. So let's get started with that.
Okay, guys, so the first thing that we have to do is determine the center point for the retaining wall. And I'm going to be going from the edge of the house out to this point here. And that's going to be the inside part of the retaining wall. So let's get the measurement there. And we have 10 feet. So we're going to go to the 5-foot point.
Okay, guys, so one of the things that we have to consider is this locking lip that's on the back side on the bottom of each block, and that's going to offset the wall a little bit with each block that you go up. So the orange line that I had put into the ground is going to be the finished back edge of the wall. So I have to compensate on how much in front of that orange line I have to dig in order to be able to get the block set. I'm going to go ahead and show you a little example of what I'm talking about. Okay, guys, here's an example of what the wall's going to look like. I've got 24.5 inches to get down to level with this walkway here, and these blocks are 4 inches apiece. So that's 24 inches, and then I still have a 3-inch cap that's going to go on top of that. So we're going to be below the grade of the walkway, and to determine how much in front of it I have to dig to put our base block down here, I'm going to go ahead and I put this with all the steps on it, and we'll take a distance to the back of that. So we're at about 3.5 inches, so I need to make sure that I'm well 3.5 inches in front of our orange line for the base block, so that by the time we get to the top, we'll be where I'm figured at with that orange line going around it. All right, well, let's go ahead and get digging.
Okay guys, so I just wanted to go over this again. We have our 6 rows that we're going to be putting in and our end cap. So with those we've got 26¼ inches that we have to be with the driveway, level with the driveway. I want this cap to be flush with the driveway itself. We're at 28 and a half. And we said we needed 26¼ so that's giving us about 2¼ inches to put in some gravel along the bottom. Now generally you would want to put like 4 to 6 inches for drainage, but like I mentioned earlier, the soil I have is basically sand, so I have really good drainage here, so I don't feel there's going to be a need to put that much gravel underneath. It's just going to be more for leveling purposes other than drainage. So
Okay guys, at this point you want to make sure that you have a good level base in order to build your wall on. So I'm just showing you a couple different options that you can use to check that. The first being the least expensive is just getting a bubble level that attaches to a string and just holding your string out level according to the bubble level and just measure the distance down. And you want to make sure that that distance is the same all the way around. Another option is using a laser level, and this one I have here is a self-leveling laser level, and you can use this to see the laser line on your tape measure. Now generally this method does not work as well during the daytime. It's very hard to see that laser level, so it's something that you might have to do more towards dusk, where it's a little darker and you can pick up that laser line a lot easier. But it is an option that you can use to again check the base level. And then the last option is a little bit more expensive option, and again it's a laser level, but it also has a sensor, so you don't have to see that laser light, and it will tell you whether you're high or low going around to the different positions. And then once you're finished up with that, any areas that you need to bring down a little bit, just adjust accordingly, and until you have that base nice and level, so that your first row of block will be level, and everything building up from there won't give you any kind of issues.
okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and put the base in now, and we want to have that at about, like I said, about 2¼ inches to get us back to the height that we need to lay our blocks down.
Once you complete tapping all the gravel down, it would be a good idea to again check your level with the method that you use, whether it's the level bubble or a laser level. Go around and make sure that your base is level before you start putting your block down.
Okay, so what I want to do is just kind of explain a little bit how I'm doing this. In a few videos earlier, you've seen that I had put in orange lines, and basically what I did was I used the string, and from my reference point that I wanted to be the center, I had marked on here in the orange and sprayed, went around that reference point and sprayed the inside line, excuse me. And then I did the same with the outside line. So that was the area that I wanted to clear out. Now within this area, I marked here in black where I want the outer edge of my block to be. So as I go with the block, I'm going to use this black line as the reference and take my level to that black line and make sure that I'm straight up and down this black line right here, and make sure I'm straight up and down as I go around, and that way it'll maintain that curve all the way around the retaining wall. Okay guys, I just wanted to go over a couple things here real quick with you. The soil that I have is very sandy soil all the way down, so it drains very well. So in my particular case, I'm not going to be putting any kind of drainage pipe or anything in behind this retaining wall. But if you do have like a clay soil or even just a real good soil that doesn't drain that well, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you put in some kind of drainage behind the wall so that you don't get any kind of water buildup and eventually causing the wall to fail or push forward or push out. So in my case, I'm not going to be putting any in, but if you did need to do that, what you'd want to do is make sure you had a little bit more clearance than what I have here. You'd want to put down a little base of gravel and then put in some corrugated piping like this that has the drain slits in the pipe itself, so the water can enter into this pipe. And then it's probably a good idea to get the one that has the fabric over it as well, to keep any kind of soil from getting into your pipe and clogging it. But then that would then just get placed in behind here, and then you would also want to keep backfilling with some kind of gravel to allow the water to run through and into the pipe here. But I just wanted to clarify that with you guys, so you're not going to be seeing me doing that on this job. But if you have those kind of soils, you definitely want to make sure that you do that in those kind of situations. Okay guys, so things are coming along real well with the retaining wall, but I did run into an issue that I got a piece of drain pipe that's coming through, so I want to go ahead and show that to you and explain to you what I did and also what other options that you might want to consider. So let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Okay, so you can see that the pipe is sticking up through the ground a little bit there, and it's not very much. So what I'm going to do there is just notch out underneath the block, and I'll show you what that looks like here. So I've notched out, it's a very small amount, so it's not going to affect the integrity of the block itself. If it was more than halfway or more, what I would probably then do would be to just fill this area with gravel and that up to the next layer, and then lay my block on top of the gravel there. Now with that also, if I was putting the drain piping behind here, this would be an area that I could also bring it out, pack it around with gravel, and then place the next row of blocks over top of that. So those would be like your two options that you could do there for this area. But we're going to go ahead and put this block down. It fits in over that little bit of a hump, and we should be good to go. And we've got our inspector here. She's going to make sure that everything's up to par and meets all the requirements. All right, so my next row I need to start with a half a block, so we're going to go ahead and cut this one in half. And I'm just going to give me like a reference line here. There we have it. We have two pieces. She's helping to backfill behind the blocks. But so I wanted to show you too, we've got 3 rows up, and just wanted to take a look at the level, see where we're at. We're right in between the lines, so everything's still good.
All right, guys, we finished the base of the retaining wall, and the next thing we're going to be working on is the caps. Got it all backfilled, and I put in some of this weed fabric here. Obviously not for weeds, but just to try to keep any of the sandy soil from migrating through the retaining wall blocks and seeping out that way. So I just put that in as a little bit of a barrier. But let's take a look at the wall, and then we'll get started on the caps. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do here is we're going to end up cutting every other block, these of the caps that we're putting up here, and that way we're not having to cut every single block going around. So what we're doing is spacing it apart enough for the distance along the back. I'm just going to set this cap down on here, get it lined up, front edges, back, and then we're just going to go ahead and just mark our line. So now we'll have these two areas that we're going to cut off of this block. Okay, guys, we're finished with this section of the project, and just want to go ahead and give you a look at it and tell you what's coming up next. So let's have a look here. All right, so that completes that part of the project, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some good information from it, and hopefully you stick around for the next part, next week's part of it, where we're going to be doing a patio paver walkway up to the water spigot. and that'll be part 2 of 3 parts for this project that we're going to be working on here. All right, thanks again for tuning in. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.